Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. Convalescent, strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection. Convalescent is the only possible, and it's only made possible because of Operation Convalescent. Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. We provided $48 million to fund the Mayo Clinic study that tested the efficacy of convalescent the virus. Convalescent. This is the only possible, and it's only made possible because of Operation Convalescent Plasma.
I have with me David Pakman. He is a progressive host and executive producer of the nationally syndicated radio and TV program, The David Pakman Show. And I wanted to talk to David Pakman. He is a beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. So beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. David Pakman, he is a beta male. A beta male.
Can you remind the audience, when you talk about being a beta male and being an alpha male, what are we talking about here?
There are males, most men today.
Yeah.
Male. They think and act like a woman. They are emotional. They are mentally off. They have no logic. And that's a beta male. They go along with homosexuality.
Hold on, whoa, Jesse, we got it. That's a lot.
LGBTQ.
That's a lot.
They
Hold on.
agree with everything that's raw. Abortion, they think and act just like a woman. A beta male does. But a non-beta male doesn't, because he's a logical thinking. And they're controlled by the darkness of David Pakman. He is a beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male.
All right, welcome everybody. We're just out of time for that. I don't think we can do too much more of that because we do have a very big news day. We are down to just 8 days remaining before this election, and it is mostly looking good for Joe Biden, except where it isn't. A couple of spots where it's not looking good for Joe Biden are, for example, people who plan to vote but haven't yet voted in some particular battleground states, overwhelmingly leaning in the direction of Trump. So when we see the early Democratic voting and the high turnout, we just have to wait. We just have to wait, and we have to vote very importantly. So I still don't think, again, as I've said, if you say even money bet, David, who do you think wins? I bet Biden. If you tell me, am I as confident as I would need to be in order to say, don't worry about it, I'm going to go on vacation for the next 8 days? No, not even close. We were having some conversations. So we had this idea that after the election, regardless of who wins, whether it's Trump or Biden, if it's Biden, things will start going back to normal and just interest in politics will calm down. If Trump wins, people will be so depressed that he won again that people will check out at least until the midterms. Now we've moved it to Inauguration Day. I think regardless of what happens, if Trump wins, we're going to be in spike 3. I don't know if you've seen what's been going on from the standpoint of cases, but it is getting, we're not calling this wave 3, but I'm certainly calling it spike 3, where we had one spike to about 32,000 cases, a second spike to about 70,000 cases. We've now had a couple of days, as you can see here, records, 81,000 in a day, 79,000 in a day. Even if Trump wins, it's going to be an insane transition period. And if Biden wins, Trump is going to absolutely lose his mind. So now we're saying, okay, it'll probably be crazy until inauguration, and then we'll see. And after that point, I'm not making any predictions yet, but it's certainly something we're going to be keeping an eye on throughout, and we're going to be here at least certainly in this last sprint. And we'll be here with you. So today, this is going to be Donald Trump's third rally of the day. This one is in, where the hell is this? Martinsburg, Pennsylvania. We're awaiting Donald Trump's arrival, scheduled for the bottom of the hour. We're monitoring a few different streams for you, but that's where we're waiting right now. And I have a few different things to go over with you and to discuss. I was going to do a map, an electoral map, just to give you guys a sense of how it could come down to a couple particular key states and why those states are so important and why it's relevant when those states start counting ballots. Hint, hint, Pennsylvania. But let me read a few super chats first. Unknown Prodigy asking whether I've ever imagined that I and Anna Kasparian would do a show, that it would be ratings bonanza and we would get along great. I was actually just emailing with Anna the other day. We were actually in discussion. This is breaking news. Prior to Corvid, you all know what I'm talking about. We were talking very strongly. We share, we share representation, I guess is fair to say. We were very powerfully looking at a sort of live event series. Let me just put it that way without saying anything else. Then Corvid, right? So it's not happening for the time being. But I would love to do something with her in the future. We've been on Politicon stuff together, so on and so forth. Michael Blanco says, David, saw today that a ballot drop-off in Boston was set ablaze. Hopefully not the one you used. It was not the one I used, and I voted weeks ago. But yes, we covered that story on the bonus show today. Jennifer says, David, Orange Jesus is in my county right now in central PA, and our COVID cases are getting bad. Hospital ICU almost at capacity. This rally will make it so much worse. I'm in the middle of very red area of the state. I feel for you. A user who goes by the name Bustanu, I'm going to go with that. I'm not stupid. Bustanu says, next Tuesday is my birthday. Vote for me, please. And that's all very, very exciting. Over on Twitch, no messages right now, but a few thank yous. Emergency Alert, thank you for the sub. Nug Wrangler is in for 14 months. And Little Plumber Girl has also subscribed. And yes, people wondering if the Discord is working. The Discord is working fine. We have a new official David Pakman Show Discord. 3,500 or so people on it as of now. DavidPakman.com/Discord is where you can find that. Okay, let me briefly, I've got a couple. Do we want to do memes first or my map first? I don't even know. Maybe we'll do memes. Yeah, so I've got a couple little things. I requested a David Borat last week, and I got it. As you can see here, take a look at this. This is pretty wild. This is me as Borat, I guess, walking down the street with a mustache as well. So, that's that. And then here is a pretty good video people made. Someone made this. Who made this? Scrumptious made this. Oh, wait, hold on. This is Mike from Finland, I guess, is the person who made this. This is my frustration with the phone calls from last week. I think you guys remember this. Johnny from Boston, what's going on? Oh, boy. Johnny from Boston, can you unmute and talk to me? Let's go to Rob from Virginia. Rob from Virginia, please unmute. Let's go to Mike from Finland. Mike from Finland, what's going on? Mike from Finland, what's going on? Oh, boy. Mike from Finland, what is going on? All right. Tolly from Australia. Kind of odd.
David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay, so there we go. That's from Scrumptious, which I think is very, very nicely done. I appreciate that a lot. That's a very, very nice one. I really do like that. Okay, stream schedule during the next week. Well, as you can see, Donald Trump is going to be in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nebraska tomorrow. And where else was that? Some other places. I'll be carrying some Trump rallies, but I also am going to be carrying Obama-Biden events. And unfortunately, the Biden campaign does not make it easy to figure out like when they are doing the rallies. So if anybody finds out when there is going to be an Obama-Biden rally or an O-Biden rally, as some people call them, please email in through my website contact form and let me know, because I would love to cover those. Obama has been triggering, I mean, just brutally triggering Donald Trump. And I look forward to covering those. Okay, other super chats coming in. Let's see what we've got. Abu says Martinsburg is 15 minutes from where I'm from. We cannot afford to have a super spreader event like this, I'll say. Tristan says, feel like Trump obviously going to steal the election with the Supreme Court. What is being done to stop? I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you. KJ says, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. David, please, please, please do a series with Anna. It's A-N-A, not A-N-N-A. Let's at least respect her enough to spell her name correctly. Insight of the Ages says, any word on Biden's daughter's diary? Will you try to verify? Handwriting experts have verified. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. We've got 8 days until Donald Trump might be reelected. Biden's daughter's diary? I don't know a thing about it. Tanner Audia. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Michelle Phelps says, it's my birthday, but you get the present. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to when political news is boring again. Thanks, Michelle. Pink Poison has subscribed on Twitch and says, thanks for keeping me sane and informed. Thank you for being here. Tanner says, are you streaming election nights as results come in? Yes. Yeah. You know, I'm going to stream on election night. We're going to stream results. I really have no idea whether it's going to be sort of a meh stream or whether it's going to be our biggest stream ever. I really don't know what to expect. Like, is there going to be more or less interest in it than last week's debate, which was a record for us on YouTube, or the first debate, which was a record on Twitch? I really have no idea. But what the hell else am I going to do? I'll be watching, so I will certainly be broadcasting. Speaking of which, okay, so let me quickly, now I'm going to do this. I'm doing this, let me do a blank map. I'm doing this like right now. I'm going to talk through it with you. So give me a second. If I'm not super quick, I want to put these scenarios together and show you what could be some pretty wild scenarios. So obviously the West Coast, Biden will win. Alaska, Trump will win. Hawaii, Biden will win. Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Nebraska, I'm going to go red, but I think that there's a chance. Well, I'll get back to that. Utah, Colorado will be blue. New Mexico will be blue. Sorry about that. Oklahoma and Kansas red. I believe that Trump will. I'm going to assume Trump wins Texas. If Trump doesn't win Texas, this is all moot because it'll be a crushing. Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri. I believe Minnesota, Wisconsin. Actually, let me leave those blank for now. Illinois will be blue. Indiana red. All of these states over here, I believe, are going blue. This here. Georgia, I think ultimately will be Trump. South Carolina will be Trump. Virginia's going blue. West Virginia red. Kentucky red. Tennessee, this is all going red. Okay, so now let me start figuring out these. This is where it gets very, very dicey. Oh, Maine, I think, is going. Very good. So, now so imagine that Trump gets these states that he got in 2016 and that he gets Florida. Let me actually go blank on Pennsylvania. And he gets North Carolina, Iowa. I'm trying to get this set up the right way. Okay, so this is a scenario where it all comes down to Pennsylvania. Okay, just to start with, this is a scenario where it comes down to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, of the states that don't start counting until the polls close, is the only one that could. Oh, whoops, Texas is blue. Hold on a second. So hold on. This is not the scenario. I think I was assuming this scenario. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. This scenario. I should have made notes, but I figured I could figure it out quickly. This is a scenario right here where it all comes down to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, we are not going to maybe know for a couple of days because they don't start counting mail-in ballots until polls have actually closed. This is a scenario where if Trump gets Pennsylvania, he wins. And if Biden gets Pennsylvania, he wins. This is a real scenario, folks, where we actually might not know the results for a while. But the good news is there are lots of scenarios where it's not going to come down to Pennsylvania. If Biden gets Florida, it's probably over, even without Arizona or Nevada, which are in play, Ohio, which is in play, North Carolina, which is in play. Conversely, if Trump gets Florida, but Biden manages to get Arizona and Nebraska and Nevada, it's 270 for Biden. Pennsylvania, we may not know for days, but it becomes irrelevant because Biden's got 270 already. That's without winning Florida nor Ohio. So the point that I'm making is there are a lot of scenarios here. Now, there was one other one that was interesting, which came down to the 2nd district in Nebraska. Let me see if I can do this. Where was this? This was a very specific scenario where it could be where that one Nebraska vote could have been the difference maker. What was it, though? I should have done this. Was it this way? No. There was just like one state. 271. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm going to put this all together in a more professional manner. I understand what I'm doing now is a mess. But there was a scenario I found which was not this has to be red. What else do I need to flip for that scenario? It's a very interesting scenario. Would it be this? No. Was it North Carolina? North Carolina and maybe... Anyway, I don't remember, guys. But the point is, there was a scenario I found where it was ultimately, it was basically, it could be a tie. And then like this one Nebraska district could be the difference maker or something like that. The point is, guys, we've got to vote in every single state, every single district. We don't know what's going to happen. It could come down to Pennsylvania. It could come down to the Nebraska 2nd district. Any number of scenarios, any number of scenarios. Okay, thank you. I apologize. If I flipped North Carolina and Pennsylvania, that would have worked. Okay, fair. It doesn't even really matter. The point is, it exists. It exists. So just go and vote. Everybody's got to go and vote. That's the very important point. All right, other super chats that are coming in. Let me see what we've got here. I don't want to miss anybody. Where is this? Where did I leave off? Okay, I See Dead Llama says, David, my roommate keeps saying my vote doesn't matter, but I tell him if everyone who said that voted, it would change an entire election, but he won't have it. Any advice? Yeah, I might move on to somebody else. I mean, at this point, how much time are we going to spend convincing any one voter? We need more of a wholesale strategy than a retail strategy. If your roommate still doesn't get it, then, what can we do? Grant Logan says, is Shira on the line? Shira. That was a big line last week. Irene says, a big hello from Canada. I have my fingers and toes crossed that these early voters are voting Biden-Harris. Hope the USA gets its dignity back. You and me both. Insight of the Ages says, Biden's diary is unknown to you because the gaslighters shine a light in a way that keeps truth in the dark. Who is holding your gaslight? Oh, my God. I hope it's been worth spending $10 here today. Ken says the next 4 to 8 years will be critical for moving Democrats left and strengthening a left-wing coalition. Nader wrote about social democrats, Greens, and libertarians joining forces to root out plutocracy in his book Unstoppable. He did, and did it well. Kay says, autocorrect, my enthusiasm to see you and Anna chat still there. Sorry. Thank you. I do really appreciate that. People turning to face us. I assume it's because Donald Trump's plane is approaching. Youngie says, from the UK, what's with the YMCA song? I have no idea why Trump plays YMCA at every one of these deranged rallies. I couldn't tell you. Brianna has been watching you a while. Pleasure to have finally joined. Can we talk about the multiple COVID spikes following all the rallies? Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. We can. The rallies have been linked to cases, but not a cartoonishly high number because they are outdoors. Outdoors reduces transmission dramatically. So we have talked about it in Minnesota. But for me, the real story is this administration has continued to pretend nothing's going on, and we're one of the worst places in the world to be in terms of per capita cases and deaths. That's really the news. Hero shave fur. Heroes have fur. Sorry, hero shave. Heroes have fur. David, could you please address why the Dems did not try impeachment of Barr or Trump to slow the SCOTUS nomination process? I don't think it would have worked. I think that's why. Most wise one with a comment about faithless electors. Nicholas says, David, what does all that polling data mean we should do? It means we should vote. That's it. Zelda Giga fan says, I put the odds of Biden winning Texas at 40%. I think the odds of Biden winning Texas are more like 38%, 37, 38%, something like that. Thanks to House of Dub as well as Octalian for subscribing with Twitch Prime. I appreciate that. Bay Photo says, do these Trump rally crowd sizes concern you? Not COVID, but politically. Are they more energized than we think? They may be, which means we have to vote. Period. That's it. I mean, yeah, we should be worried about that, of course. Alex Lombardo says, thanks for the great show. Down with the clown. And James says, didn't Trump winning Michigan result from a mere 2-vote lead per precinct? Armed with that knowledge, how can anyone say their vote doesn't matter? It is very dangerous, this idea of anyone's vote doesn't matter. And, what I tend to say to people when they say, when has an election come down to one vote? A lot of people have that thought. What are the odds this election comes down to my vote? If everybody who had that thought stayed home, then the election comes down to those people. And that's the important thing. That's the important takeaway. Dominic says, if Hillary had won, would Trumpists still claim COVID is fake and a hoax, or would they be exaggerating it? They'd probably be exaggerating it. Yeah. No, I think that's reasonable. I think that's very, very reasonable. Let's see. We have the obligatory does David read Twitch chat message from Nug Wrangler. Thanks for getting that in. I do read Twitch chat. Thank you. Very, very important to check in about that. I do want to say a huge thank you to Christina Mesa, who is new member number 1 today at joinpacman.com. Also, Gage Donovan is new member number 2 at joinpacman.com. Very much appreciate that. Very, very much appreciate that. Okay, what else do we have going on? Noni says plenty of people are voting in the triangle in North Carolina. Is that the knowledge triangle? That's like, hold on. Is it Asheville, Chapel Hill, and what's that? What's the triangle? Remind me, the North Carolina triangle. That's where like people have college degrees and stuff, right? Do I remember that correctly? Anybody? Nobody knows. Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. Okay, the research triangle. Beautiful. Very good. Ren Holder says, I can't wait to never think about Trump again. On a different note, you should interview John McWhorter. I would be interested in that. I watched some of his podcast episodes. Yeah. What else do we have here? Danny says, is there a website out there that lists state by state when each state can start counting ballots, whether early in person or mail absentee? There is. Yeah. I would, let's see. When does each state start counting mail-in ballots? I assume it'll be the first result in Google. It is. It's a Ballotpedia link, which tells you every single state. Amazing how quickly we can find the data. That's what we care about here. The data, Danny, you know that. Nicholas says, thoughts on presidential candidate Kanye West on Rogan's podcast. I found it delusional. And again, I think Kanye is deeply mentally ill. I think that all of the making fun of Kanye, I really do think the guy has major issues. It's not even funny to me. It's just, I see a sick guy. I don't know what you guys say about that, but I just see a sick guy. Christy says, hope everyone gets a David cameo video sometime. I got one for my girlfriend a few months ago where he gave her cat an honorary membership. Thanks, Deepak. You know what's insane every morning I've been getting up and I've got, I mean, okay, that's not crazy. That part's not crazy. I think you would all expect that happens. But I'll log into my Cameo and I have like 5 or 6 cameos waiting. It's crazy. It's mostly birthday shout outs, to be perfectly transparent with you. All right, looks like it's getting potentially a little rainy in, hold on, I keep forgetting where this rally is. Martinsburg, Pennsylvania, and people seem to be paying attention, I guess, to the chopper is here. Okay, Trump taking the chopper, I guess, from a nearby airport or something. So we'll be hearing from Donald Trump very soon. What else do we have? Ulja says Samantha Bee did an episode where she talked to people who lost by 1 vote. There were more than you could imagine. Interesting. All right. We are probably just moments. Now, why are people looking behind? Is this the decoy helicopter? As many of you know, Marine One often flies in groups of 2 to 4 helicopters. In case someone were to target one helicopter, it would be less likely they get the right one. So I believe that maybe this is not. Maybe people are looking behind the camera. Oh, there are 2 of them there already. Oh, there's a second one. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're waiting for the 3rd or 4th one. We will see. Please consider yourself invited, by the way, to grab a membership at joinpacman.com. As I may have mentioned before, our program really depends on the support of people who sign up on my website. I'm not asking for a lot of money. If you hate me, if you find me despicable, don't even worry about it. Don't sign up. But if you've got a couple bucks a month, I would love it for you to grab a membership at joinpacman.com. As you can see, the coupon code 2020now saves you 66%. Use the coupon code. Don't use it. It really makes no difference to me. We just want to involve as many people as possible. You've all heard about YouTube adpocalypse and stuff happening on all these different platforms. And the best way that we can protect ourselves from it is to build our own support on our website, joinpacman.com. And if folks sign up, I will give shout outs and thank yous to the extent I can before Trump starts. Let's see if we can hear anything here. Okay, no, so they seem to have some kind of problem. By the way, here's this is what we're fighting, okay? If you're thinking, I don't know, maybe I'll get a membership, maybe I won't. Let me play a voicemail for you, which will outline exactly what we're fighting. Listen to this.
Hey, Danielle Prickless, your show sucks. You know what I have to do? Take that microphone and shove it up your ass. What happened to Patty? You weren't tight enough? Your ass wasn't tight enough for her? You know, you flap your arms around like a little girl, like a wounded bird. You look like an idiot. You are an idiot. And guess what?
By the way, it's funny to say my arm motions are weird. You know, Trump's constantly like playing an invisible accordion and pointing at people. Anyway, projection as usual.
Democrats are going down, baby. Down. No matter what you say, you freak.
And then this same gentleman. So for example, this is an example of what we're fighting. You understand? This is why we count on the support of folks who realize you have to fight that, because that guy's getting those ideas somewhere. Here's another one. I haven't even pre-screened this one. It could be vile.
Yeah, you freak. Do you stick a tampon up your ass after you put your microphone up your ass? We're going to send you a pair of little lace panties. I think you'd look good in those. You swing your arms around like a stupid bird. Stephanie Miller could kick your ass, and she's another freaking progressive. Guess what? Supreme Court, Republicans. Congress, Republicans. President, Republicans.
Okay, lost his train of thought there for a moment.
People are going down, baby. Down, no matter how much you cry. Little crybabies. Still haven't gotten over 2019, you idiots.
So I'm pretty sure that that's a Maine accent. And I think that person actually, now they're blocking their number when they call, but they used to call from a Maine number. I'm pretty sure actually, in fact, I think they're on the FBI's radar, to be perfectly frank. I think we did forward some of the other messages onto the FBI. So that's why it's great, when people like Tristan Matheson sign up on my website, or Marcel Dreschler, or Wendy Hoskins, who are new members 3, 4, and 5, as you can see. That's why it matters, because there's people like that who are very actively trying to destroy everything that we're doing. I think I have one more, just while we're doing this, kind of clear out the computer. You guys want, so Jimmy from Philly called in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in an hour. Okay, 10 times in an hour. I'm sorry, no, 11. Let's see what some of these are. Oh, I see. He's just calling over and over, but not saying anything. Does he actually say anything in any of these?
David, Jimmy from Philly. What? So you're not taking on calls? What the fuck's going on?
What? Did anybody understand that? What the hell was that? And there's one more, and then one other one.
David, Jimmy from Philly. Wiped.
Is he saying wifed? Is he saying Jimmy from Philly wifed? He's been wifed?
Yeah, Hard Bear should just cover this fairy dozens in there.
Fairy dozens, did he say?
How the fuck do you associate yourself with this angry moron?
Associate. I can't even fake that. What is that? Is that a Jersey or Philly accent? Associate. My mouth won't even do it.
I mean, David, I think you're smarter and easier to listen to than this moron, and certainly Cenk. But
Cenk?
Fairy is just an angry, bald-headed, fucking bald-head, stupid motherfucker. Like, I think he actually believes the bullshit that he's spewing now.
Okay, so anyway, the point is, guys, when we talk about membership, that's what we're fighting. There are people who will call our affiliates and say, take David Pakman off the air, pressure our affiliates to pull us. There are people who contact our guests and say, please don't appear on David Pakman's show, all of this stuff. And that's why it's so important that we build a base of support. So on that note, thanks to Connor Johnston for signing up at joinpakman.com. Thanks to Jack Bouton for signing up at joinpakman.com. Very, very much appreciate it. And we are, it's just been such a crazy year. And thankfully we've been able to grow our support during the year. Let me thank a few people over on Twitch who are sending me messages. Mine Host has signed up and says, hello from Mullingar. I don't know what state or country that is. Mullingar. Another helicopter showing up. Crimson Elric has subscribed, says, David Richard from Seattle would love to get Sam Harris back on the show. Of course, let's get Trump out first. Be well. Yes, my interview with Sam Harris did very, very well. Would be interested in having him back on. Much to discuss. Much to discuss. If you can't hear me, unmute. My audio is working, and it is working perfectly. All right, let me do a few other super chats, my friends, because there are more coming in, and I'm going to try to get to more as we wait for Trump. Ubiquitous says voter suppression includes Facebook ads pushing reasons to not vote Biden to progressives. They did it in 2016. Expect they'll do it again. Be vigilant, everybody. Yes, be vigilant. T6 says we just got our COVID cases to 0 in Melbourne, Australia, after about 120 days of strict lockdown. I am jealous of 0 cases. I'm very jealous. Mile High Hustle says 538 gives Biden a 33% chance of winning Texas, but gives Biden an 87% of winning the whole enchilada baklava. Okay. Very good. James says at least Trump isn't using Air Force One as a backdrop. Yeah, I don't think it would be able to land at this airport. Kay says, Australian here. I'm so worried about your election and COVID for you guys. I've taken a day off work to support you all, from an Australian supporter. Thank you. Simon says, Simon from Belgium here. Thank you for doing what you do, David. I appreciate your sanity during these insane times. I appreciate you appreciating it. Okay, I just missed a bunch of super chats here. Hold on. It scrolls up when a bunch come in at once. Youngie says, we've rhyming slang in UK. Taking a Donald is really taking off over here. Jake says, everyone hit that like button and vote. Must vote. Must vote. Another helicopter coming by. I'm guessing that that's the full propaganda. Where did they land 3 choppers and then now they're bringing number 4 by? I mean, how much fuel are we wasting here, guys? Holy. It's just disgusting what is going on here. Paige says, what should we expect to see from Dems in the event that Trump wins the election but loses control of the Senate along with the House? I am reading about that now, and I will certainly have a clip for you if that scenario happens. For the time being, I'm trying to take it a day at a time. The speculation, we've got one goal in front of. Oh, look at this. What on earth is going on? Can you believe this insanity? These people, oh my God, and the cheering, and we have to end this, guys. We have to end this. Look at this. People waving. Imagine waving to Trump who's flying over you in helicopter number 4. It's vile. Morph Kogan, did you read crypto sponsor vid comments? Not good. I didn't. I at this point, we get 3,000 comments a day. I just don't have, there's so many things going on. Broken Curtain says statehood for Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. I agree with you. Prior Guy says get to the choppa. L Diner Productions, should we be concerned about Trump calling the election early? Yeah, I mean, we should be as concerned about that as we are about a lot of other things that he's doing. Ms. Smith says recent article says Facebook has a favorable view towards the right wing. Do you think this is true? Listen, the right has a very strong presence on Facebook, and some of the best performing sort of political channels on Facebook are right wing channels. The idea that Facebook is, a stronghold of left wing ideology is very, very false. Very, very much false. Brandon says, I'm shocked you're still holding these stream of Trump rallies. He says the same crap. Are you going to stream the whole thing? I don't know. This is earlier in the day, so I may stream the whole thing. I may not. Hopefully it'll start raining and it won't be that long. That's my preference, to be perfectly frank. Thanks to Shadowblade, HSC Mace, and Avenari for subscribing over on Twitch. Very much appreciate that. Let me say a few other new member thank yous so I don't get people furious with me. Barry Hamilton is new member number 8. Deflated Brady, I like that, is new member number 9. Lewis Hurst is new member number 10. Giacomo Pernigo is new member number 11. What else do we have here? Jolie Thatcher is new member number 12. Sandra Pavlo, thanks for being new member 13. Lynette O'Donnell is number 14. Andy Thatcher is number 15. And Gordon Justison is new member number 16 today. Very much appreciate that. We now have 4 helicopters, and hopefully Trump will be coming out of one of these. It's getting disgusting here. Completely disgusting. Jake says, went out and voted early for Biden in Maryland today. If you haven't already, go vote. Do it. Everybody do it. Pat says, I can't believe we, the taxpayers, are paying for this loon to spread the virus across the country and spread jet fuel, but with flyovers. It's really gross. Michelle says he told his supporters to vote in person because he planned on disputing all mail-in ballots in the Supreme Court on January 20th. Can he? I don't believe that will happen. No, I don't believe that will happen. Keep up the fight. Oh, people asking if you guys broke the subscribe button during the last debate. So I told this story during the last debate that during the first debate, YouTube viewers broke the subscribe button, which means there's this thing that happens on YouTube. If too many people subscribe at once to my YouTube channel, which is free, YouTube, the algorithm is triggered, kind of like Trump has been triggered by Obama the last few days. The algorithm thinks, to the extent that it can think, I'm assigning anthropomorphic agency to the algorithm, but the algorithm thinks this many people can't possibly be signing up for this crappy channel. Who's subscribers to the Pacman channel can't be. So it triggers an algorithm which will not show the subscriber numbers, and it will verify them individually over like a 5 to 7 day period. That happened. That was triggered during the first debate. And it was again triggered during the second debate. It was insane. And speaking of which, I think people may actually like this. Hold on. This is a little inside baseball. I got a message from my YouTube rep who said, wanted to shoot you early data on the debate stream. This is from the Thursday debate stream. I think some people will like this and some people will hate this. They will, there's a lot of people waiting for me to circle the drain and rap. Peak concurrent record for the show, 56,580 last stream. You led left-wing political publishers, independent political publishers. You were the top channel for the stream. You were in the top 20 streams for all channels, including corporate media. In fact, I think you were number 15 or 16. You beat NBC News on peak concurrent viewers, but they beat you on live views. Kudos on a great live stream. Guys, can you imagine? We were the number one left independent streamer during debate number 2. And we were 15th or 16th of all channels on all of YouTube. You understand, guys, billions and billions millions and millions of people watching. Incredible. An incredible day. So I appreciate everybody who participated. We are still waiting for Donald Trump, now 21 minutes late, has arrived after 4 helicopters landed. We now have Trump. Let's see if the music is going. I'm guessing it's that lame country song. Yeah. Only needed a second in order to realize that. Unbelievable. People asking if I'm going to do any kind of Among Us stuff. I would be willing to do an Among Us thing, but only if it's really big. I mean, the AOC thing with Hassan and Pokimane, both friends of the David Pakman show, it was just unbelievable, and I would want to do, it doesn't have to be as big as that, but I would want to do something significant. I don't want to just do it with, I want it to be a major event. If people want to help put it together, maybe Anthony Mellon Fantano could be a participant. I would love it if, oh my God, someone handing Trump a hat. Did he almost just slip there? That was weird. Trump's going to throw hats out, Corona hats. Okay. Am I going to be back on with Austin, formerly known as Raj? I don't know if this, I don't want to, if this is supposed to be a secret, I apologize to Austin, but Austin and I chat one-on-one directly. A couple times a week, we're talking about polling and different things going on in the election. He's a good guy. And I would love to do something with him very, very soon. Very soon. Big thank you to Claudia Kate for being new member number 17 today. Adrian Mazur is new member number 18. Jared Hunt, number 19. Shayna Sweezy is new member number 20. And James Thompson, new member number 21. I so appreciate that. Let's see if I can read a couple other super chats here. Danielle says, David, thank you for keeping me entertained with U.S. politics. My boss thinks the U.S. could collapse in my lifetime due to partisanship. Well, the U.S. could, I don't know how old you are, but the U.S. could collapse. Check out my interview about the fall of Rome. Even things that seem, omnipotent and immortal can end. And, anybody who thinks otherwise, give me a break. Aldemir says, as a Mainer who's quite progressive, we're not all like that. Love you, David. Thank you. The caller is a beta male, says Shosoy Baboso. All right, let's get to Trump here. Trump, etc.
Very low-key. We wanted to make a low-key appearance. Did anybody notice the helicopter flying a little low and real slow?
We did.
No. Greatest pilots in the world, greatest equipment in the world. That's what we have. Greatest equipment in the world. But the greatest pilots, nobody can do what our pilots could do, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Hello, Pennsylvania. Hello, Pennsylvania. 8 days from now, can you believe it? 8 days. Started off 4 years ago. Remember our meetings and it was a love fest right from the beginning, wasn't it? And now it's more so. You know what? It's more so than it was 4 years ago. And they're going to be finding that out very soon. They're going to be finding it out. You know, I have the ratings. Right.
Oh, no. Not the polls.
Poll numbers. Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is ridiculous.
You know, Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden said a little while ago he was in a lid. You know what a lid is? A garbage can. They put the lid on it.
Yeah, Biden's in a garbage
we had
can.
2 of these today. They were fantastic. Different parts of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, right? And we had 2 of them. Sleepy Joe was down there, and they said, you got to get out of this basement.
Sleepy Joe.
So he traveled from Delaware to a little tiny corner of Pennsylvania, like right next to Delaware, and he made a speech. And he said that he doesn't do these kind of rallies because of COVID.
That's right, yeah.
No, he doesn't do that because nobody shows up. That's
Just
why.
like he wore a mask, which
shows
Trump made fun of as well.
COVID. That's all they talk about, the fake news. COVID.
230,000 dead.
All they talk about, what progress we've made on it, too. We understand it. We know we have to protect our seniors, especially when they have heart, when they have diabetes problems.
If you have heart,
We
you
have
must
the
be
best testing
protected.
in the world. That's why we show so many cases, because we do more testing than anybody else. But we're doing great, and
So I have to mute because this is so important. Testing is up 4% over the last week. Cases up 21%. So it is false that we are simply seeing more cases because of more testing. Testing up 4, cases up 21. Please.
exactly great. And I said, "What's the story, Doc, sir? You've tested positive." I said, "Positive for what, Doc? Tell me." And
Idiocy
and I say this,
and
hey,
Corvid.
President, you're doing your job. You can't stay in the basement of the White House. You can't stay in a basement. You can't stay in a beautiful bedroom upstairs. You can't do that. You got to do your job. And I'd have many days I'd say, I haven't met a lot of people today. There's got to be something going. But one day they came back, and these doctors were so great, and there are a lot of them. There's so many doctors, when you're president, there's so many doctors.
Yeah, why is anybody worried about coronavirus? You catch it, you'll get 20 doctors to fly in from Johns Hopkins and give you 5 treatments. It's fine, guys.
There's different parts of the body, and they would grab my body, and I hated it. I said, "Get your hands off me, doctors. But let's make me feel good." And we took something that was like incredible, Regeneron. And I don't know, maybe I would have just been perfect just by doing nothing, but who the hell wants to take a chance? And I woke up the next morning and I felt like Superman. Get me back, get me back. Get me back. And the First Lady had it, right? First Lady had it. And
Where has she been, by the way?
She's great. She is popular too. People like her. They love Melania. But she had it. Doesn't complain about things. And then of course Barron had it. Now with Barron, young, strong immune system, he had it. I said, "What's the story, Doc, with Barron?" "Sir, he tested positive." Like 15 minutes later, "How's Barron doing?" "Sir, it's gone." So you have to get back to school. We have to get back to school, Pennsylvania. You have a governor. You have a governor. You have a governor who doesn't, want us to do anything in Pennsylvania because, did you see the poll just came out? We're up 2 and another one we're up 4. Because you watch, I have a whole list of the polls that just came out. But 8 days from now, we're going to win the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and we're going to win 4 more years in our great White House.
Let's hope not.
Just a few hours from now, the Senate will vote to confirm Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the United States Supreme Court. That was a good choice, wasn't it? I've never seen any. I'm glad she's not running for president. I'd much rather go against Sleepy Joe. Much easier. No, she's fantastic. A fantastic person, fantastic woman, a great student. Her great professor at Notre Dame said, and he's been teaching a long time, a lot of great legal minds he's taught. He said she's the single greatest student he's ever had. That was good enough for me. That was it. highly respected person.
My God.
He's a highly respected man. He said, "Sir, she's the greatest student I've ever had. Judge Barrett is one of our nation's most brilliant legal minds. She'll defend our rights, our liberties, and our God-given freedoms." And
That I'm not sure of. Sir, I don't know about that.
And we were all watching in great amusement as she was so-called grilled by the opposition. That was easy, right? That was easy. That was like one of our great football teams from the area, plenty of them, playing a high school football team. That was really something. Judge Barrett will be the third Supreme Court justice, along with almost 300, right around the number. By the time we end the first term, I'll have 300, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, federal judges that we've confirmed to uphold our laws and our
That's a tragedy. That's a real tragedy.
And part of that was that Barack Hussein Obama
Here we
allowed
go.
me to have 142.
He's been doing the Hussein
We
thing a
started
lot
with
lately.
142 empties. I don't think anybody's ever had one. You don't do that. But he left me 142. Couldn't get them confirmed. To this day, Joe
called
Biden
Republican
refuses
Senate.
to release his list of names. Got to live. It's more than just the pack in the court. He's got to say who's he going to put on, because we can't have radical left justices that are going to destroy our nation. And we will be very, very careful as to who we choose. I left a list of 45. I had a list of 25, and now I added 20 names to all top scholars.
Okay, wait,
top
45?
scholars.
Anybody tracking the math
And
here?
Amy was one of them. Took Amy off. And the fact is, you have no idea. A lot of people say I won because of the Supreme Court, because they didn't know who I'd pick, and I gave a list, and I said, I'll pick somebody like this. And then they said, that's not good enough. Got to pick somebody in that
That's certainly untrue.
So ultimately, it's a list of 25, all great scholars, all people that believe in something known as the Constitution, if that's okay. I don't think his list will. And they say that that was a big part of the reason that we won the election 4 years ago. And he has to do the same thing. He's got to not only agree to not pack the court, or you can't put him on, it would be terrible. Terrible.
The thing is, Biden doesn't have to do anything. He can do whatever he wants. Maybe people will vote for him. Maybe he won't. They won't.
We have a Senate. We have a House, a lot of people. 9 is the right number. 9 great people. That's the right number. But he's got to agree to not pack the court. But he's got to agree to give us a list of 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 or 40. Got to have people to pick from. And if you don't have that list, you can't vote for him. And you can't vote for him for another reason. Because during the debate, I'm sure nobody watched the debate. Did anybody watch the debate? Remember? The last question was like Perry Mason. It was just like Perry Mason. It was at the end. He was doing great. This guy was doing so wonderful. Not really. Meaning he was getting through.
What?
And then the last one, I said, so you don't want oil, Joe? Well, yes, we want to get ourselves off of oil.
That's great.
How about Kristen, who I thought treated me good? I really did. I thought she, compared to Chris Wallace, much better, right? Chris Wallace, I was fighting 2 people. But no, I thought she treated us good. And frankly, she went in and she said, why did you say that to him? And that's when he really blew it. So basically, he's not going to allow you to frack, and you have 1 million jobs.
I wish that were true.
Probably more than that. And it's a big part of our nation, what you do. People don't realize that about Pennsylvania, but fracking is a very big deal. Who are you pointing to? Oh, look at that. Whoa. Oh, boy, the coal miners, right? The coal
What's going on there?
Dig we must. Dig we must. Clean coal. I don't call it coal. I call it clean coal. They can
Stupid name for it, but that's what he calls it.
Remember when Hillary, she said, we will stop all coal miners. We will never dig coal again. And then 4 weeks later, she ended up in West Virginia. That did not work out well for her. That was not good. Remember, she was trying to explain that she was just kidding, just like he's doing, just like Sleepy Joe's doing. He was just kidding, but he's down. And if that doesn't win us, we just had a poll come out. We're +2 now, but we should be a lot more.
Where? This is not a serious person. I hope you guys
I'm not happy with
realize.
+2. I don't like +2. It's an honor. You do a great job. Dig we must. Dig we must. And we brought it back. We're selling now coal to Vietnam and many
Trump
places
selling coal.
are you coal miners from Pennsylvania? Good. Good. That's good. Well, you're not going to be voting for Joe Biden, that I can tell you. Not like he's a sophisticated environmentalist. He was told to do this.
Right.
Our
Biden's
opponent's agenda is one
unsophisticated.
of doom and gloom and depression, decline and despair. Our agenda is one of unlimited optimism. We want to be optimistic. Remember during the debate, he said it will be a dark winter. No, it's going to be a beautiful winter. It's going to be a beautiful spring. Okay? Our country is coming back stronger than anybody would have thought. And you have to get your governor to open up your state, what this guy is doing. You know, we had one site where we had a site, it was a big site, beautiful site, and he made sure that they didn't do it. We had to go around scouting out for sites on our first. This is my third one, all in Pennsylvania. But this governor, but we're going to remember it. But the problem is, how is he going to be the one when he tries to play games with sites that counts ballots, right? He counts ballots.
Sites?
Governor. And then they sued us because they didn't want to have poll watchers. You know what a poll watcher is? They watch you count the votes. What's wrong with that if you're doing it straight? So we're in court, and we had a
Trump's talking about random
judge
people showing up.
who said, oh, you shouldn't have poll watchers. Can you believe that? We actually lost the first case. But we'll go up, and we'll end up in the Supreme Court. The other thing, they want to be able to drag out the election long beyond the 3rd. Well, in all fairness,
That's not true. It's just if
this
your
is
vote's
a
postmarked
very
by the
important
3rd, it
place,
should
right?
count.
And we can't drag it out. We don't want to drag out any longer. So we are in lots of court having to do with this. And
Many
having
court.
to do with many states, about 5
Much
of them.
court.
And so far, we've had a lot of good victories, and we'll continue because we're not going to let this election be taken away from us. That's the only way they're going to win it. We're not going to let it happen.
What he means is we're going to take it away
For the
from them.
last half century, 47 years, Joe Biden has been outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American blood and treasure in ridiculous, endless foreign wars, countries
Treasure.
you've never even heard of for the most part. Now Joe Biden is trying to ban fracking and deliver an economic death sentence for Pennsylvania's energy sector. You can't allow this to happen. But here's the thing: for a
This
year,
is
I
the
watched
death
thing.
sentence right
There will
here.
be no fracking, right? We saw with the Democrats, right?
Oh,
The radical
9 more
left.
people died while we were just talking
They're
there.
all screaming, no fracking, every one of them. They couldn't scream loud enough. Then he gets the nomination because Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, refused to get out. Oh, had she gotten out, then Crazy Bernie would have been our opponent. But I think I like Joe better because there's no energy. I like Joe. No, Bernie had a little energy, small base, lots of energy. And we had a lot of his people, you know, a lot of them with Crooked Hillary. Bernie, he gets, I won't use it because you have very young people here. He gets taken advantage of by Hillary, and then he gets taken advantage of by the Democrats the last time with mostly Elizabeth Warren and the others, they ganged up on him. And he goes back and he goes into the Senate. I think he's the greatest loser. He's a good loser. He's a good sport. Crazy Bernie.
Okay.
And in the last week's debate, Joe Biden confirmed his plan to abolish the entire U.S. oil industry. That's
Smoothly back on the
like
prompter
this.
there.
Why are you doing this? Because she's on his side, you know, because that's NBC, owned by Comcast, C-O-N, not C-O-M, C-O-N. So she's on his side. She's saying, why are you doing this? If you really look, it's almost pleading. Sir, why are you doing this? And I'm
Sir.
just be quiet, Kristen. No, that's what happens. That's right. That's what happened to Perry Mason. Remember the guy?
Trump regularly tells women to be quiet, yeah.
And at the end, I did it. That was Sleepy Joe. That's what happened. You don't need a president like that. That means no fracking, no natural gas, no coal, no jobs, no energy, no Pennsylvania families being well taken care of. Fracking is saving Pennsylvania families $2,500 a year, at least. And it's saving families all over the country. We are energy independent, and you're
Fracking has saved
and they
countless
wanna
lives,
end
yeah.
that.
There you go.
They want to go to wind. Do you love wind? A nice windmill right alongside of your house. Your house is now worthless. You know, when those windmills go up and they're near your house, I know a lot about wind.
Oh my
It
God.
cost many, many, many times the energy that we're talking about.
This guy's really an idiot or a liar or
like
both.
32 cents versus 3 cents, whether it's natural gas or other things, but many, many times. But you put up a windmill, if you want to see a bird graveyard, go under a windmill sometime.
Here we go.
You will see a you will
Remember, guys, random cats walking around kill exponentially more birds than any windmill. And by the way, how many birds are killed because of pollution? How many birds are, you understand, right?
He wants wind and he wants solar. I like solar too, but it still isn't developed. And solar's not going to power your big, powerful plants, which we have to have in order to compete and beat the rest of the world. It's just not going to do it, and neither is wind.
Look at Germany.
Neither is wind. He will eradicate Pennsylvania energy production and send your state into a crippling depression. That's what it's going to be, because energy is such a big... People just don't know that, Mike, about Pennsylvania. It's a big, big energy state. Be amazed. You know, it's funny, Texas. So he's against oil, he's against guns, Second Amendment, and he's against God. So he goes, and then they say, President Trump is 4 points up in Texas. And the governor calls me from Texas, great guy, Greg. He said, sir, that's not true. You're up.
No, you might be losing.
Don't say that. But think of it. You're against oil. We're in Texas. You're against oil. You're against God. You're against guns. In Texas, guns in Texas. Trump is up 4 points. It's a very close race. No. Same thing here. Because you have the same thing. And you could really say the same thing, almost to a little bit lesser extent. But the Texas was just amazing.
The
So
Texas.
that's why I said at the end, Texas and Pennsylvania, I hope you're looking, and I hope you're listening. And that goes for Ohio, and it goes for Oklahoma, and it goes for a lot of other places.
What on earth?
So, you know, we had polls because the fake news is always giving fake numbers, you know.
Here we go.
They're really called, they're suppression polls.
He'll give us the real numbers
So
now.
here they are, all brand new. Rasmussen, did you ever hear of Rasmussen?
It's already funny.
So over there we're at 53 and 52. That means it's hard to lose you when you're at 53 or 52. So Rasmussen, and that's national. That's not, you know, what I'm doing. I go to places like Hillary used to campaign in California when it doesn't matter. Although if I were California, I'd vote for Trump because the place is going to hell.
This says 48-47.
I would vote for Trump. I would vote for Trump. Taxes are too high, crime is too high. New York, taxes are too high, people are fleeing, crime is too high. I put out, vote for Trump. Remember? African American, I said the same thing. Vote for Trump. What the hell do you have to lose? That was last election. Now, we are doing so incredibly well with
He's polling 8% with Black Americans.
the Black community,
8%.
and the Hispanic community.
A little better with Hispanic
No,
community.
it's unbelievable. They get it. Because we did criminal justice reform, we did prison reform, we did the historically black colleges and universities. What we've done, opportunity zones with the great Tim Scott, senator from South Carolina. We've done so much, and now the black community is strong with us. We had a poll today at
Strong.
40. Nobody knows what that means.
What?
Nobody knows what that means. That's a number that nobody's heard of with respect to the Republican. We should be much higher than that.
He thinks 40% of the black vote he's getting.
Globalist who wiped out your steel
Delusional.
mills, closed down your factories, killed your coal jobs, outsourced your industries, and supported every terrible and disastrous trade deal for more than 47 years. He was a cheerleader for NAFTA, one of the worst trade deals ever made. By the way, USMCA just kicked in. It's great.
Yeah, look at how great everybody's doing.
Your companies aren't going to be moving to Mexico or Canada anymore.
See ya. Yeah, I see people bailing because
That I
they
can
can't
tell
take
you.
it anymore. I got you, Swizzle.
Biden enthusiastically voted for China's entry into the World Trade Organization, decimating your manufacturing and enriching China at your expense. And you were really one of the biggest victims. This state, you lost 50% of your manufacturing jobs after Biden's NAFTA and China disasters. They were disasters. He signed it along with other people, but he was one of the people that pushed
What a loon.
decade after decade, vote after vote. Sleepy Joe Biden has betrayed Pennsylvania, you know that. He repeatedly tried to cut Social Security and Medicare. You didn't know
Straight
that
up lie. Just a
when we
lie.
started showing you the
Never
tweets.
happened.
And that was Bernie Sanders is the one that exposed him on that. Now, after years of economic treachery, he wants to ban fracking, and he's going to. And what about his running mate, his wonderful running mate?
Yeah.
They asked her about fracking. She's only said about 300 times there will never be fracking. Now she said, no, Joe wants it. Right?
Vracking.
But she said it was the
Vrac,
Harris
V-R-A-K-E-N,
Biden administration. That's
Vracking.
the first time I've ever heard of that one. She came first. No, she's nothing special. She never was. I can't believe she was picked, actually. Nobody treated him worse than her. Plus, she was a disaster. Her poll numbers were going so bad. She left before Iowa, right? Before the vote. Her poll, she started off at like 12, and then she went to 10, went to
They
8,
went backwards.
went to 7,
The
went to
x-axis,
5,
which is where
went
the
to
time
4,
goes,
went
time
to
went
2,
backwards.
Went to 1, went to 0. Then she said, I think I'm going to get out of the race. And she treated him so badly, what she called him and everything else. And then he said, I'd like to announce that I'm going to pick Kamala.
Oh, no.
You can have
Not
a
the
look.
Gregorian chanting again.
You don't have to take my word. We have Joe on tape. Now, I only do this when a location's very important to me, because this thing cost a fortune putting up this tape, okay? But look at this crowd, so you can
Uh-oh,
watch
he's
what
bringing
Joe says.
videos.
Go ahead, please, roll the video.
My problem is I voted for NAFTA. I'm supporting NAFTA because I think it is a positive thing to do. And I do not pretend to be an expert on international trade matters.
When you ran for president and when Barack Obama ran for president, you both said you would renegotiate NAFTA. You didn't.
Trade agreements like NAFTA and permanent normal trade relations with China, which forced American workers to compete against people who are making pennies an hour, has resulted in the loss of 160,000 jobs.
The president is absolutely right when he says that China has been cheating for 25 years and that Bill Clinton didn't do enough about it, George W. Bush didn't do enough about it, Barack Obama didn't do enough about it.
How exactly are you going to negotiate that? What magic wand do you have?
The rising China is an incredibly positive development for not only China, but the United States and the rest of the world. Rising China is a positive development.
Ask anyone in the crowd what aspects of NAFTA are bad for them, and they would not be able to explain it to you. I'm not defending NAFTA, but I'm pointing out that Trump has used this because people don't know what the hell's going on. That's how he can get away with this stuff.
As our competitor, we should be helping.
The idea that China is going to eat our lunch is bizarre.
The idea that they are our competition, they're going to beat us, is bizarre.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They're not bad folks.
China's not a problem.
Allowing China into the World Trade Organization, which he supported, extending most favored nation status to China, which he supported, that those steps allowed China to take advantage of the United States by using our own open trade deals against us.
No,
Do you think in retrospect...
Look at the well-behaved cultists watching the video.
Today, we're finally ending the NAFTA nightmare and signing into law the brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement.
Ask anyone in the crowd the differences between NAFTA and USMCA and how that affects jobs in their county. I mean, just ask them. I dare you.
This president and this administration. It is a huge deal.
Wage growth is better than it has been since 2009. That means it is better than it has been for 7 out of 8 of the years that Obama was president.
The new USMCA has powerful protections to keep auto manufacturing jobs. Since the election, we've created 41,000 brand new motor vehicle and parts jobs.
But doesn't he deserve some credit for that? It's better. The USMCA is better than NAFTA.
It is better than NAFTA. I never said I oppose fracking.
You said it on tape.
I did. Show the tape. Put it on your website.
I'll put it on.
Put it on the website.
Would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated. I guarantee you, we're going to.
So that was obviously cut deceptively. What Biden's talking about is phasing it out over time, which I agree with. It's a great idea.
Gradually move away from fracking.
And I think it's critically important on day one.
Literally half-second video clips.
Leases on public lands.
Well, like, what about, say, stopping fracking and stopping pipeline infrastructure
They want to do the same thing I want to do. They want to phase
Some of these are cut mid-word.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
I have one final question.
Would he close down the oil industry?
It falls.
Or would you close down the oil
By
industry?
the way, I would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I would
that's
transition.
a big statement.
That's
It is a
great.
big In terms of business, that's
great.
the biggest statement.
Okay.
Because
We have
basically
one
what he's
final
saying
question,
is he is
Mr.
going to
President.
destroy the oil industry. Will you remember that, Texas? Will you remember that, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma?
Vice President.
What are they even cheering about? This is a cult, guys. Oh my God. What are they even cheering for?
So you never heard me say that. That I can tell you. Now, isn't that great? It's a very expensive deal, but it saves me a lot of work because there's nothing does it better than that, right? A vote for Biden is a vote to offshore your jobs, ban fracking, and deliver economic ruin to Pennsylvania and to your families. In 2016, Pennsylvania voted to fire this corrupt far-left political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president who is finally putting America first. With your vote, we will continue to fight for American workers, lower drug prices. You know what we're doing on drug prices? Had the first year in 52 years where drug prices came down.
You don't even know.
Drugs last year. But we're doing favored nations, so we pay the lowest in the world. Right now we pay the highest. And the drug companies don't like me too much, I can tell you that. They're spending more on advertising than Sleepy Joe. Support our police, protect our Second Amendment, which is under siege.
Police.
Defend our borders, maintain energy independence, and ensure more products are proudly stamped with that beautiful phrase, made in the USA, right?
Trump's own campaign gear made in China.
Prosperity, epic job growth, a safe vaccine that quickly ends the pandemic, and we're rounding the turn. They hate it when I say it.
Record
With or
cases
without,
48
we have the
hours
vaccine.
ago.
It's going to be great.
Record.
We have numerous companies, all great ones, but we're rounding that turn anyway. We're rounding the turn. We understand the disease. We closed it up, the greatest economy in history. We closed it up. We saved 2 million lives. Remember, it was going to be 2.2 million lives. We saved 2 million lives, and we're rounding the turn. Normal life, that's what we want, normal life. We'll fully resume. We'll never forget what China did to this country or what China did to the world. And next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. And that's where we're heading. If you look at the job numbers, automobile numbers, if you look at housing, I gave working families record-setting tax cuts. And in my second term, I will cut middle-class taxes even further. Just gave you the largest tax cut.
Only if you vote for him, though.
Largest tax cut in history. This is the craziest campaign, right? So all my life, I watch politicians running. They always say, we are going to cut your taxes, right? We are going to cut your tax. I got a guy running now who's sort of shot. He goes, we will raise your taxes. I say, what the hell?
Tax cut for the bottom 95% under Biden.
Yeah, he's going to give you the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, including regulations and all the other stuff, which made it so good for us. This election is a choice between a Trump super recovery or a Biden super depression. And that's what you're going to have. You're going to have a depression if you go with this guy. It's a choice between a boom and a lockdown. Who wants to lock down your country? You're already locked down.
He hasn't said that.
With your governor. Wolf, Governor Wolf. Here's a beauty for you. Sure, Governor, we trust you to count our ballots, Governor. We trust you. And it's a choice between the rule of the people or the rule of the corrupt political class. If Joe Biden and the Democrat socialists, and that's where you're heading. And I always said, this country will never be a socialist country. Never, ever.
What a meaningless statement.
But if Joe Biden and his Democrat socialists are elected, they will delay the vaccine, delay the therapies, prolong the pandemic, close
Why would he
your
do
schools. They're already closed. Open them up, open up those schools.
Understand, Trump simultaneously says, if Trump loses on November 4th, all of this stuff ends because it's only political. And he's saying if Trump loses, Biden will extend lockdowns, delay treatment, delay therapy. What?
Just before November 3rd of 35%. Nothing ever even close. I think your record is 8%, 9%, 35%, and he wants to close it down. Not a good idea, Joe. Biden says he has a plan for the virus, and he doesn't. He just copied. You see what he did? He copied our plan. It's the same plan.
He's copying me.
Everything he's proposed, my administration has already done, including mass production of rapid tests and PPE. We've done.
They've done
With
PP.
the ventilators is incredible. We weren't prepared with ventilators. Our hospitals didn't have them. Our governments didn't have them. Our federal government didn't. We went into a production of ventilators, the likes of which they've never seen anything like it since the end of World War II. Biden doesn't know how to defeat a pandemic. His own chief of staff said that when he managed the H1N1, which he always reverses, swine flu, the swine flu, a much less lethal flu.
Which is why it was handled differently, of course.
He said, quote, we did everything possible and we did everything possibly wrong. We were a disaster. 60 million Americans got H1N1 in that period of time.
It was like the flu.
It's purely fortune that it wasn't a mass casualty. He said, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. Now this guy comes in. He should have closed it down sooner, but 2.5 months later, he was saying I shouldn't have done the ban to China, I shouldn't have done the ban to Europe. If the H1N1 had the same fatality rate as the China virus, over 2 million people would have already perished.
The whole point is it was different.
It was a disaster. And his own person said...
This is like saying if colds were 100% lethal, the whole country would be dead and it would have been Biden's fault. What are you talking about, dude?
Can't help himself. In an interview that aired last night, Biden said he opposes letting young Americans resume their lives, which was an interesting statement. 99.98% of those under the age of 50 recover, and most recover very quickly. But Biden wants to keep them locked down in their homes while letting rioters and looters run wild. So in Pennsylvania, you can't go to church. You can't go to restaurants.
Reminds me of that funny video. If my grandmother had wheels, she would be a bicycle. Well, but that's not the case.
That's why we call everything a friendly protest. That way we're allowed to be. Think of it. You can't go to church, but if you want to burn down Center City, we have no problem with it. I'll tell you, we're bringing our country back, but if you think it's easy with these people we have to deal with? The Biden lockdown would crush America, and my plan will crush the virus, and we're going to have a boom like you've never seen before.
Why hasn't he crushed it yet, then?
Like you've never seen before. When the China virus arrived, we moved heaven and earth to fight the disease. We banned all sorts of things, everything we could ban. We airlifted medical supplies, built hospitals from scratch. Look what we did in New York, the convention center. 2,800 beds. Then we put in the ship. Unfortunately, Governor Cuomo barely used it. If he would have used it for our great seniors, he wouldn't have caused the death of 11,000 people, seniors.
Would love to hear Trump address the stock market today.
Slashed red tape, pioneered groundbreaking therapies, reduced the fatality rate 85%. Think of that. Think of it. I mean, look at Regeneron for me. And by the way, we're going to make Regeneron available to anybody that feels they want it, need it, same as I have. Free. And the vaccines that are being produced, it's not your fault, it's China's fault. We're not forgetting. And the vaccine's going to be free. It's going to be distributed free to everybody.
Everything's free all of a sudden.
100 million doses of a safe vaccine before the end of the year, maybe quite a bit sooner than that. Seniors will be the first in line for the vaccine, and our frontline workers too. I will break through every obstacle, which we've already done, use every resource, and I will not rest until we eradicate this disease that should have never
He
come.
will break through every obstacle, which he's already done. Well, aren't they broken then already?
Never come. Never forget. We will vanquish the virus, and we will emerge better, stronger, and more unified than ever before. If Biden and the Democrat socialists are elected, they will raise your taxes to a level that you've never seen before.
Is there even one socialist on the ballot?
Regulations, dismantle your police departments, dissolve our borders. They don't want borders. They want open borders. They even said maybe we'll take down the wall, which is now almost complete. You know, the wall is almost complete.
Yeah.
The Border Patrol. I said, give me the best.
It's almost
give
done.
Me your specs. I said, let me use concrete plank. I want to use concrete plank. It's quick and it's cheap. They said, sir, we can't do that. We need steel, concrete, and then
Sir.
we borrow. I said, that's great. We gave them everything they wanted. We're now beyond 400 miles, and it'll be finished very soon.
Right. Who could possibly believe
It's amazing.
that?
It used to be all about the wall. They never thought I'd get it, Bill. It used to be all about the wall.
There's no wall.
Democrats would do anything not to have. Remember all the work and every day front page. The wall will not happen. It will not happen.
And it hasn't.
Now that it's almost finished, you don't hear about the wall anymore, right? They don't talk about it. The fake news media doesn't talk about it. Look at how many there are.
These are lies.
That's a lot of valuable equipment.
This is an authoritarian
That's a
telling
lot
you
of-
a wall
that's a lot
exists
of
that doesn't
valuable
exist while attacking the media.
And Mexico is paying for the wall, by the way, in case you had any question. That's the
Of
other
course
thing.
they're not.
So now they know it's built.
Of course
Then
they're
they
not.
said, but Mexico will not be paying for. I said, no, Mexico is paying for the wall, okay? But they'll figure that out very soon. They'll confiscate your guns, terminate religious liberty, and destroy the suburbs.
All
Women
lies.
of the suburbs, you must love me, I can tell you. I'm saving you suburbs. I'm saving. I got rid of the regulation that was going to destroy your suburbs.
Deep mental illness here.
Unless you like crime, which you don't like, right? Now, they were doing a new thing about 3-4 weeks ago. They said, suburban women don't like Trump. He's losing suburban. I said, why? Wait. But that's only because I know two things about suburban women. They don't want a regulation that is brutal.
And $100,000 is enough to get them to quiet down, he's experienced.
Okay? They don't want that. A project. We call it a project. And they don't want crime in the suburbs. And you know, Antifa says that's the next place they want to head. They're not heading to the suburbs.
The organization Antifa, its board decided.
As soon as I say
they're going to the
those
suburbs.
words, they want law, order, they want safety, they want to have their families be safe. And then they say about, I think we're going to do very well with suburban women. We have a lot of suburban women right here. We got rid of a regulation, and Ben Carson, a great guy, said, well, sir, you know, it'd be a lot easier if we just amended it, made it a little less onerous. It's horrible. It's horrible. With your zoning, and they've changed your zoning, and you can do whatever you want and ruin everything. I said, no, Ben, let's terminate it. Well, but if we do, it'll be easier. No,
He's the
Ben,
Terminator.
Let's just terminate it. I said, do it. He said, that's a tough one, but we'll do it. And we terminated it. It's gone. Now, if Sleepy Joe comes back, you know who's going to be in charge of it? Cory Booker is going to be in charge.
That's interesting. That would be interesting.
The former mayor of Newark, New Jersey, who never lived in Newark. I don't know how he got away with that one, Mike. Never lived there.
Who's Mike?
They will censor you, cancel you, and indoctrinate your children with anti-American lies. But we don't let that. We don't let that happen. You saw that 2 weeks ago. Joe Biden has made a corrupt bargain in exchange for his party's nomination. He has handed control of his party over to the rage-filled socialists, Marxists, and left-wing extremists, right? Because Joe doesn't have a clue. Let's not kid ourselves. Joe, how you doing, Joe? Not well. Oh, I got to say, wait. So the polls, right? So winning 52% and 53%. Not bad, right? And that's national. That's almost as, you know, as crazy as it is, it doesn't mean anything. Nevada, Trump is up by 2. Texas, Trump is up by 4, much more than 4. Remember.
So the polls he's selecting aren't even accurate, according to him.
I'm on their side. He's on the other side. So let me ask you, maybe even more so than if a candidate is running in Texas and he said, we are against oil. I think that's it, right?
I like this super chat. Suburban women needs to be the next Joseph Woodward track. I think that would be great. Joe, if you're on stream, that's a great request.
It's terrible. It really is terrible. Ohio, we're up big. Ohio, the great state of Ohio. We have great people in Ohio. Jim Jordan. Do we like Jim Jordan?
Oh, my God. Horrible.
NCAA wrestling champ. People don't know that about Jim. You know about Jim.
A lot they don't know about Jim.
NCAA wrestling, a real tough guy and a great guy. Florida, we're up 4. Just came out. Rasmussen.
Let's look at Florida's
Georgia,
average.
We're up very nicely, 4 or 5, but we're really up much more than that. Don't forget, if we're up 4, add another 4, 5, 6, 7 to it.
So from all these polls, Trump mentioning this one.
They vote. Arizona, we're up in Arizona. We're up in Iowa. We're up big in Montana. Well, Montana, we're up really big. We're up in Utah, and we're up 22 points in West Virginia. Oh. But you don't hear this.
Imagine things going so poorly that a Republican has to talk about West Virginia polling.
Dishonest people, but that's okay. They were dishonest last time, too. Worse, actually, right? But you got to get out. You got to get out and vote. We got to put this thing away. We win Pennsylvania. We win the whole ball game.
Not true. Not true. He probably needs it.
So, it's just, you're known as a late voting state, right? Very late, right? Which is a good thing. Who is going to vote soon?
Imagine if half the crowd's not even
vote
voting.
On November 3rd. Yeah, you're one of the few, right? Yeah, you don't like a ballot sent out and then thrown into a garbage. No, you're known for it. It's called smart people. Who is going to vote for Sleepy Joe Biden? Only if you have the courage. Only if you have the courage to raise your hand. Please don't do it. Please. Who is going to vote for President
You could be
Trump?
killed in that crowd.
All right. Now we're going to have a big, they call it the Great Red Wave, and they're waiting for it. All these ballots came pouring in. These crazy ballots are pouring in from all over. They send the ballots out. Nobody knows who sent
Remember,
it.
guys, when Trump talks about a red wave, we just say, let's vote.
They want to have a thing in
Let's vote.
Nevada.
We'll see the numbers in 8 days.
Minor things like
No need to argue with anybody. Just vote.
But they're going to have a wave, and they're all saying about the red wave. But I think the Great Red
Let
Wave
them say
is
it.
going to be much bigger than people have any understanding about. I think. But you hear those numbers. You don't hear those numbers when you watch the fake news. It's suppression. They want to make you nice and depressed. So you take your wife or husband, you say, I really like the president, but he can't win because I listened to fake CNN or I listened to Fox. Fox, by the way, Fox has the worst polls of all, and they had 4 years ago, too. They have the worst. I said, they have the worst. Do you hear that, John Roberts, who I like a lot? They have the worst. He's right there. Hi, John. They have the worst pollster of anybody. Fox is terrible.
It's actually not true.
Last time.
Fox polling is okay.
You listen to these polls and you say, let's go to dinner, darling, and then we'll go home and sadly we'll watch television.
And my wife said, sir.
4 years ago? Everyone said, no, we're not going to dinner. We're going to vote. Right? Hillary with her statement about the deplorables, right? The deplorables.
He's speaking to him right now.
That was incredible. Was that incredible when she said that? Who would have thought that was so bad? It was deplorables. She actually said a worse word than that, right? The irredeemables. Remember, she said the deplorables and the irredeemables. I thought irredeemable.
We'll find out if they're redeemable momentarily.
But it didn't catch on. The thing that caught on was deplorable. And the next day I was making a speech like this, and it came out, we are deplorable. And they came out by the millions.
She was right.
Sold like
she
crazy.
was right. I would rap if I were him.
The fake news, every time that happens, and now it's happening with Biden because that's a crime family, frankly. But every time that happens, where they say lock her up, lock him up, they always blame me, and I have nothing to do with it. I mention a name, and the place goes crazy. They said, you incited that. I said, I didn't even talk about it. You see that fake show last night, 60 Minutes? I did a good job.
It's a
That
fake
was
show.
very
It doesn't exist.
Hostile attack by a woman that knew nothing. If Biden wins, the flag-burning radicals
Stupid woman, knew nothing.
will be running your government. You know that. Look at Portland. We want to go into Portland, so, we did a great job. If you look at Seattle, we said, we're going in. And the night before, they said, okay, we're leaving now. Because, we have to be asked in. The federal government has to be asked in. And then we did a great job in Minnesota. Minneapolis.
He's so relatable, guys. Just like the average guy who works in a factory can really relate to this.
It would have saved a lot of destruction. Remember the CNN anchor, Velchi? He said,
MSNBC.
They don't want to talk about riots because it's bad for them, We are here at a peaceful demonstration. And behind him, right over his shoulder, the entire city is burning down, right? They had a fire that looked like Berlin on its worst day. The whole place was burning down. And then he said, the military has formed. Well, it was a great group of people. You saw that, the National Guard. And it was 1, 2, 3. All of a sudden they started 1 line, 2 lines. And they just marched forward. They had tear gas. Didn't Velchi get hit on the knee with tear gas and he went down? They said, he's down, Velchi. I don't even know who the hell Velchi is. I just remember. Did a little shave job on his head. I was thinking about doing it.
So he's talking about Ali Velshi, who works for MSNBC, and laughing, I guess, about the fact that
Ali Velshi,
he got hit.
Yeah, he got hit on the knee with tear gas, right? And he went down.
How funny.
And he was not the bravest guy. But I'll never forget the scene of him saying, this is a friendly protest. And behind, I'm telling you, I never saw fire like that. It was the craziest thing. But we did a great job. We sent in the National Guard, and the National Guard, it was over in, a half hour max? They just started walking. World's most expensive uniforms. Their helmet cost like a giant computer. They just, and there was something very nice about it after watching what went on for a week.
It was heartwarming.
But all of it, we could solve it all. All they have to do is ask us. The federal government is waiting, and it's always run by Democrats. New York problem, run by Democrats. Chicago problem. How do you like her as a mayor? Isn't she wonderful? Run by Democrats. All run by Democrats. This election day, the people of Pennsylvania need to defy the corrupt media, the big tech machines, and you look at what they're doing. They're protecting. They won't write anything negative about a man who is corrupt. They won't write. There is nothing they will allow to go in.
They should cover Trump's corruption more. That's true.
Keep you down and hold you back. It's the most incredible thing, and I give great credit to the New York Post, who endorsed me today, by the way.
What a shock. What a surprise.
Because they're the only one with the courage to do it, and they're out there. It's great what they're doing. You must stop the anti-American radicals from doing what they're doing. You can't let the Democrats and Joe Biden have a far-left victory. This has to be a thundering defeat, not just a defeat. It has to be a rebuke of socialism. And as corrupt as he is and all the things his son is like a vacuum cleaner. Let me follow you into China, Dad. Dad, I'm going to be managing $1.5 billion. Have you ever done it before, son? No, I haven't, Dad. I have no idea. They've never done a deal like that. China doesn't do that. They don't give other people money to manage. But the scary part is that, remember, the big guy gets 10%, right? The big guy. He's the big guy. I don't think he's the big guy. The big guy gets 10%. And the big one with China was they wanted $10 million a year for introductory purposes. So $10 million a year. I wonder what that was all about. That sounds like a reasonable number. Then Ukraine, $183,000 a month to sit on a board of an energy company with a questionable reputation. Sit on the board, and he has absolutely no knowledge of energy. This young person sitting right here, very young, knows more about energy than Where's Hunter.
Oh, my God.
Hunter's real first name is Where. Where's Hunter? Remember we made the T-shirt? Joe wants to send your jobs to China while his family rakes in millions and millions of dollars from the Chinese Communist Party. Oh, they want him to win. Can you imagine? I'm charging him billions of dollars in tariffs. Joe said he would take those tariffs off of me.
Remember, American companies pay the tariffs.
To the farmers in Iowa and Nebraska, all of the farmers, because they were targeted. And Joe wants to take the tariffs off. I gave him, remember, I 25% dumped steel. They were killing our steel companies. 25%, and our steel companies have been doing great now. If Biden wins, China wins. When we win, America wins. If I don't sound like a typical Washington politician.
All right, he's now going into the standard Washington politician line. So I think we've gotten a sense it is a very similar rally to ones we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, but a little bit more unhinged, a little bit wackier, a little bit more out of control. And I think that that's where we're going to leave it. I see that interest is starting to wane a little bit. And this is probably enough. So I will be covering subsequent Trump rallies this week. Also, I'm very much looking forward to the Obama-Biden rallies. Barack Obama out very strongly for Joe Biden, and it's been triggering for Donald Trump to see that. So I will be covering those, and we have so many other things going on this week leading up to, of course, live coverage of the results just 8 days from now. So thanks to everybody who joined me. I don't know that we learned anything new other than Trump is continuing to brutally attack the English language and our IQs with these events. But I will see everybody tomorrow.